May 30th, 2018. Just got home from Daiwa Canada headquarters in Peterborough, Ontario. Picked up some new muskie rods and reels, Lexa 300, Lexa 400, couple new muskie rods, carp reel, carp rod, and a whole lot of braid. It's about 11:45 right now. The plan is, gotta get these all spooled up. I'm gonna show you how you can set up your bait caster. This is a beast of a reel for muskie, but the same things apply when you're setting up your bass, walleye, bait casters. So we're gonna set this all up. We got a couple questions to answer. There's something new from Fear Fishing on Facebook that I wanna tell you about. And even though the carp fishing's a little slow for this guy, I think we're gonna head down to the river this evening, try to put one on the bank. Let's go. All right, so step one, we need to spool these new muskie reels up so that we're ready on Saturday for opening day. I got something really cool here at the Bassmaster Classic that I want to show you guys. A couple line cutters. They're actually Ike Live line cutters. I have an actual ring that I haven't even used these yet. Cut through braided fishing line. It's like scissors without having scissors. So I got one that goes on your ring, like on a ring, for that you can quickly cut your fishing line. And since I'm always looking for a pair of scissors in the boat, right there, Ike Live, check it out. I got another one that sticks on the boat, so I do all my rod retying, line retying right here at the boat. So I'm going to stick this right here. And now I never have to look for a pair of scissors again. Muskie rod, one. How am I gonna spool this up? First step is spooling it up. The cheapest monofilament on the planet. This is like, no word of a lie, $1.97 a pack. Feed this through the guide. Then we're gonna use a regular old school overhand knot, because it doesn't matter if this comes undone, we're never ever going to get to that. Now I actually need a pair of scissors for this part. If you look real close here, there's a little slit in the middle of your spool. That's where your knot goes, and that way your line's gonna go on your reel evenly. Very important. Spool up a bunch of this monofilament. Cut my monofilament. I'll show you how much backing I have on here. Filled that spool up about 1/4 of the way with the cheapest monofilament. That'll make sure the braid never slips. If you put braided line right on a reel without there being, like, some reels come with a foam pad. If you put braided line on a metal spool, it'll slide. Put monofilament on, super ultra cheap, and you're gonna save money on braid because you don't have to fill the whole spool with braid. So we have our mono on. We're gonna take our 65-pound J-braid, tie our J-braid to our monofilament, use our handy dandy line cutter, trim those tags as short as you can possibly get them. Fill your spool. Line spool is filled. Line cutter, 65-pound braid, that just goes through it like butter. Spool is jam-packed full of line. Get one of our muskie baits.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, buddy, how are you?
Oh, not bad.
Nice boat.
Thanks, dude.
Going fishing?
No, just getting ready for muskie opener.
Muskie? When's that open?
Saturday. Mailman stopped to visit. Super cool guy. Totally loves fishing. Now, all we gotta do is tie our leader to our great big muskie bait. We're almost ready to go. Now on my leader, I'm gonna leave a tag. I wouldn't do this normally, but if for some reason that knot slipped, it's going to tighten and there's still going to be some tag to grip onto. Next, I'm gonna show you how to set your bait caster up so on your first cast, you don't get a giant bird's nest. Now, the biggest thing, you get a new bait casting rod and reel, super excited to use it. You need to set it up so that when you hit the water, you don't just have a giant backlash. Here on the front lawn, I'm gonna show you how to set your reel so that when you first get out there, it's not gonna backlash like crazy, and then you can loosen it off as you go. Let's get this done. All right, we got our bait casting reel. We got our giant muskie bait. The reel comes to us. You wanna hold the reel, the rod, drop your bait, and look at this, we have a bit of a backlash. Pull that out of there. What we want to do is tighten our spool up till it won't move at all. So it's engaged, but our bait doesn't move. Now we back it off a hair, let it go, and it's going to fall slowly. We just want to be able to drop it, so when it hits the ground, your spool stops. That is where you want to set it. This side is your spool, over here is your magnetic. When I'm starting, I want to put them about halfway. Cast that reel, it will not backlash. Now when I get out on the lake and I get a little more comfortable, I'm gonna let it out a little more. And the more you loosen off your spool, the further you're gonna cast your bait out there to reach those fish. But if you set it a little tighter to begin with, you're not gonna have the backlashing issues. If you set it for that it just falls off the reel, when it hits the ground, it stops, your spool stops, you're not gonna have any backlash problems at all. And then go from there. You'll get better and better. Finished spooling all those rods and reels. 2 muskie rods, carp rod, all ready to go. Super pumped for muskie fishing on the weekend. I don't know a ton about muskie fishing. I'm gonna be open about this. We go a few times a year. We cover as much water as we can. I'm gonna let you know what we've unveiled on Facebook. Then we're gonna talk about ecosystems on the whiteboard and how you can find more fish. That's the most asked question that I get, is how do I find more fish? Now, right here, I can show you on the computer and on the cell phone. Right here, we've started the Fear Fishing Live Well. What is the Fear Fishing Live Well? Well, we used to have an old Fear Fishing webcast group that we didn't utilize enough. You guys spend a ton of time watching what I do, and I want to see what you guys are up to. So we created this Fear Fishing Live Well Facebook page where you're able to post your videos, your pictures, your YouTube links. I'd really like to see your YouTube channels. You can ask questions on there. We can all get involved. I don't do enough live stream Q&As on the Fear Fishing page, but I'm going to do them in the Live Well. So make sure you get over to Facebook, check out the Fear Fishing Live Well, join, post all your stuff there, and nightly I can go home and watch it, and other people can see your content. And it's a good way for me and you to share our content, but more importantly, you guys have been a tremendous amount of my success in the fishing world is watching these vlogs. So it's just a good place for me to see what you're doing. So make sure you go over, check out the Fear Fishing Live Well on Facebook. Scotty Walton's kind of managing it, looking after it. So if you have any problems with it, scream at Scott. Hands down at Fear Fishing, by far the most asked question is, how do I find more fish? Not a specific fish, how do I find more fish? This little tutorial isn't geared towards, you know, you hardcore muskie guys, you hardcore walleye guys, you hardcore tournament bass anglers. This is just general tips on how to catch more fish for the average angler looking to have a good time on the weekend. This is our lake. You know, we got some deep water in the middle. Maybe we got a couple shoals out on the lake. What is a lake? A lake is a whole lot like the province of Ontario. Where do we have the most population of fish? In the cities. Where do we build our cities around? Highways, in order to transport food to our people. Water, so that we can drink. Same thing goes for a good ecosystem. If you find weed and rock, and you know, you see some carp swimming on the shoreline, and then you see a whole bunch of minnows here, and then there's bluegills popping up over here. 110%, always there's gonna be predator fish there, because that's the highway. That's where the food is, and that is what the fish are looking for. So your largemouth are going to be in the weeds. Your walleye are gonna be out here in the deeper water. Your pike will be cruising in and out looking to eat whatever they can get their mouths on. Smallmouth, right here on the rock pile. The smallmouth are gonna be out on the shoals, we all know that. Which means what's out on the shoals? Bait fish. And what's looking for everything? Great big muskie are just cruising. So here's the key to finding more fish. Look for real fertile areas. If you're about bass fishing, I'm not looking for just bass. I'm looking for clues to put the puzzle together to catch more fish. I'm looking for bluegill. I'm looking for bait fish. I'm looking for bass fry. I'm looking, you know, I go out walleye fishing. I pull up to a weed bed. You know, when I don't see anything, there's probably no walleye there. I pull up to a weed bed and it's got some life. It's got some carp swimming around. I see some, you know, minnows jetting around. There's fish there. There's fish there eating it. The biggest thing you can do is find ecosystems on the lake that hold not one species of fish, but all the species of fish. There'll be perch in there, bluegill, you know, emerald shiners, whatever you need to find to have an ecosystem. Everybody's on the food chain. Muskies at the top, your minnows are at the bottom, and everybody eats, everybody hangs out together. Carp fishing round 2 going down right now. About 4 o'clock, 4:30. Carp fishing the other day didn't go so hot, but I got a brand new Daiwa actual carp setup, European style. Get that all loaded up. I was down there this afternoon. I met some guys from the city, put a hurting on the carp. They had like electronic rod holders, you know, all the different baits. It was pretty cool to see them catch fish. I just happened to be swinging by the river when I happened to run into them down there, so I was checking it out. I asked a ton of questions, a little better understanding of the more difficult, detailed side of carp fishing now. Or kick it old school, egg weight. Gonna go get some corn, hopefully land some fish tonight. Last time it was brutal. Can't do 2 vlogs in a row with no fish. done tonight. Got some carp on the bank. All around amazing day. The young lad who you'll see in the vlog, he would just happen to be riding a skateboard by, came over, talked. I said I was catching some carp. He was like, dude, I got a fishing rod at home. And then he skateboarded home, grabbed his rod, came down, and hopefully he gets one. He didn't get one while I was there. I had to leave, but hopefully he got some done. I left him some corn. It's just good to see young people out fishing. There was another couple of young guys there. The dudes who were pounding them this afternoon, thanks for baiting that river up. Those carp are feeding hard. It's really sad that just over a month from now they're going to close that river down. You won't be able to fish down there anymore. Great day all around. Remember, how do I find more fish is always the most asked question. Everybody wants to catch fish. Ecosystems that have bait fish, that have panfish, will have bass, will have walleye, will have northern pike, and they'll hold muskie. Just remember the food chain. If you don't, you're fishing an area and you don't see anything, probably no fish there. You fish an area and you don't see anything, and then all of a sudden there's a couple bluegill and there's a couple carp. Now we're into some fishy water. There's something there attracting the fish. Keep your eyes open. Takes a while to really get the hang of, where fish are and where fish aren't, but keep at it. Time on the water is the best advice I can give you. Even better than the whiteboard. Spend as much time on the water as you can. You'll learn so much. Huge thanks to Daiwa. The Lexa 300 and 400. I'm going to break those in on the weekend. Saturday, I'm hoping to get out muskie fishing for the morning. Saturday evening, Amber and I are going to prom. We're taking one of my oldest friend's son and his girlfriend to prom in the Fear Fishing truck and boat. Ultra cool to get to do that. I did it a couple years ago for another young man. Pumped to do that. Guys, stay tuned. Thank you so much. Make sure you go over and check out the Fear Fishing live well on Facebook. Get involved. Great place for me to get to see what you're doing since you spend so much time watching what I do. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.